Hello everyone, my name is Lauren, and this is another segment of interviews we have for Mini 4-H Camp. So here I have with me today Dr. Keith Johnson. He is a professor of agronomy and an extension forage specialist. So Dr. Johnson, thank you for being here today.
It's a real pleasure, Lauren.
Great. So let's first off talk about what you do, but first, what is agronomy?
Agronomy is the study of crops and the soil that grow those crops and the environment that helps us grow these crops. And the crops that we're talking about are not fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
We're talking about grains like corn, rice, soybeans, and even crops like cotton.
Okay.
So other regions of the country besides here in the Midwest will grow some crops. Sugarcane would be an example of things across the world. So things that are, well, like I say, not really fruits and vegetables, but we think about these other things. The other thing is probably you've got an agronomic crop in your shirt.
Yeah.
Cotton is
Okay,
an example of an agronomic crop as well.
Very cool. Very cool. So you also specialize in forage and livestock. So what is forage and what are livestock?
Well, I should say forages are part of agronomy. Forages are things like grasses and legumes. These are crops that can be eaten by animals. Particularly, we're thinking mostly about cattle, sheep, and goats as examples of animals that would eat these type of forage crops.
Very cool. So let's talk about your work as an agronomist. So just tell me about what you do just a little bit.
Okay. Well, it's a variable day. I am in Purdue Extension, and I work with people that have questions about forages specifically and try to answer their questions. I do research. I've worked on things that relate to use of grasses and legumes by livestock. I've actually looked at a grass called switchgrass and think about the possibility of future use of forages as a fuel for people, believe it or not, converting it to, well, things that might replace gasoline in the car or jet fuel might be replaced in part with things made from this particular grass. And forages are great at keeping the soil in place, too. So we want to protect our soil, and forages can do that.
That's very cool. So could you just walk through a typical workday for you as an agronomist?
Well, that's one of the things I like. At least my position is one that I can go to work thinking I'm going to get some things accomplished, but a phone call or an email can change things because there may be some issues. So essentially I start my workday and I look at things that might be received by email and respond to them. I'm always planning for the present and the future, so we look at research projects that need to be done within that day or that week, or planning for future research as well in the area of forages, of which I do.
Very cool. So every day is different, you're saying?
Every day is different, and that's
Awesome.
one thing I like about that job is it is different every day.
Yeah. So as an agronomist, do you work more often individually or as part of a team?
Well, a little bit of both. I really do enjoy working as a team. We've got a project now that we have people in weed science and animal science and agronomy, and we're all teaming together to do a project looking at controlling weeds that we do not want in a pasture setting. So I would say probably most of my time is in some sort of team setting regarding education or research, but I do handle things individually quite often with people that have questions.
Okay. So what's your favorite thing about being an agronomist? You touched on being able to have something different to do every day, but anything that strikes, this is what I love.
My specific real interest is a combination of being outside and then thinking about things inside that I can do outside. So I really enjoy the interaction of working with farmers, of which I do. I really enjoy the challenge of learning things new every day, of which I have. And so that's probably what I enjoy the most, and working with all the different plants that I've worked with.
Awesome. Very cool. So why did you want to become an agronomist?
I grew up on a farm in Nebraska, and I worked long hours, but I really did enjoy it. And so I always knew that it had to be related to farming in some way. And I guess it was crops judging in 4-H actually,
Okay.
Lauren, and I
Yeah.
like doing a weeds project as well. That I had to make a weed project for the county fair.
Yeah.
And my cows, they ate alfalfa hay,
Hmm.
and so along the way, I just kind of like the whole concept of learning more about agronomy.
Yeah. Very cool. So, if someone were interested in becoming an agronomist, what would they need to study for in school?
I would say, as young people go through, you really ought to probably take an interest in biology.
Hmm.
That probably would be something. Uh, Utilization of math to understand how to do research work or
Hmm.
to think about using those skills to solve problems is
Yeah.
important. But I think somebody that has an interest in um, crops to feed people and then in the biology side of things probably is a good start.
Yeah. Yeah. And also probably an animal interest in there
Oh,
too.
certainly,
Hmm.
yes. Having an animal interest, and certainly within agriculture, there's a strong opportunity. And my discipline is one in forage crops. There's kind of an interface between growing the crop to feed the animal.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Um, so, how do you see professions in animal agriculture being like in the next 10 years? And is there any cool technology being utilized right now?
Yeah, I think we'll be looking at continuation of trying to be more efficient.
Hmm.
We'll be looking at improving the types of livestock that can take a lesser amount of feed to put on a little bit more weight as they grow more efficiently, or a cow that can give more milk
Hmm.
to feed our growing population in the world. Um, and We're utilizing a lot of ways. As an example, we can take uh, essentially take a probe and take it to the animal and indicate whether she has a fever or not
Hmm.
right now in terms of a high temperature. And I think we'll start seeing more and more of those technology sort of things that make the job more efficient,
Yeah.
safer to be around, and a lot less stress on the animal and the people working with them.
That's great to hear. So, also, you teach in the field of agronomy at Purdue. So, what's it like being a professor in agronomy?
I really enjoy working with students that are about 20 years of age.
Hmm.
It's a challenge to uh, get them to, you know, fully encompass the importance of this, and I enjoy doing that. And I'm sharing the passion that I have for forages with my students,
Yeah.
and they, seem to learn quite well.
Yeah. Very cool. So, you were also a 4-H member. What advice do you have kids involved in 4-H?
It was a great opportunity for me, and it has been through lots and lots of years. And look at the things that are of interest to you. One
Hmm.
thing that's changed a lot as compared to me, and I'm your grandfather's age, but the things that have changed is there's a lot more projects.
Hmm.
So, my children looked at aerospace, and, they had their dog project, and, those sorts of things were a little less common, and arts and crafts sort of
Yeah.
things. So, there's so many opportunities. So, kind of look at what's available, and, what is your specific interest? It may not be agronomy at all. That's okay.
Hmm.
Just learn some things and enjoy it.
Yeah. Great advice. Great advice. So, what advice do you have for kids interested in becoming an agronomist?
I would say probably do some reading
Hmm.
about farming and what it takes to be accomplished in farming. And agriculture is more than being the farmer, it's the whole interface of having the network of people
Hmm.
to provide the things that are necessary, like the seed and the fertilizers and the things that keep pests under control, when we have insect problems. So it's a network of people. And again, I would say as you go through elementary school and high school, um, from an agricultural perspective, I would say biology is kind of very important,
Hmm.
the chemistry, the math. And I would also say if you're in a school system that have an FFA program,
Yeah.
it's a great high school education to see if you truly are interested in in agronomy
Very
or
cool.
in agriculture.
Yeah, and a little follow-up from that question is any books, videos, or resources that you recommend someone to learn or read that is interested in this field?
Well, there are 4 great videos
Mm-hmm.
on the Purdue Agronomy website. So if you could have somebody, an adult, help you find Purdue Agronomy website, there's a spot there that is for education, and you'll find things for kindergartners through 12th grade, but there's 4 great videos for kids your age, also some coloring books that I think you'll really enjoy, and that'll be a good starting point.
Very good, very good. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Keith Johnson. We're so happy to have you here and be a part of our career mini 4-H camp. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, so everyone, thanks for your time and have a great day.